The knock on my apartment door came at exactly 11:47 p.m. Not loud. Not desperate. 3 soft knocks. I almost ignored it. My Friday nights were usually the same: cheap Chinese takeout, basketball highlights playing in the background, and silence thick enough to hear the pipes groan inside the old building. At 34, I'd gotten used to being alone. But something about those knocks felt wrong. I opened the door halfway and froze. It was Lily Carter, my neighbor's daughter. 24. Blonde hair falling over one shoulder. Barely breathing like she'd run up the stairs. Her oversized sweater hung loose, exposing one trembling collarbone. Mascara smudged beneath her eyes like she'd been crying for hours. Behind her, the hallway lights flickered. "Lily?" I said carefully. "Are you okay?" She looked straight into my eyes. Then she said the most insane thing I'd ever heard. "I need a husband by Friday." I laughed automatically. She didn't. That's when my stomach tightened. "What?" "I'm serious." Her voice cracked. "And you're the only person I can ask." The TV behind me kept playing crowd noise while my brain struggled to catch up. Lily Carter wasn't just my neighbor's daughter. She was the girl the entire building secretly watched through peepholes whenever she walked past. Sweet. Beautiful. Way too young for me. The kind of woman men cross streets to impress. And somehow, she was standing at my door asking me to marry her. By Friday. "You should come inside," I finally whispered. She stepped into my apartment slowly, clutching her purse like it held her entire life together. Then she looked at me with terrified eyes. "If I don't get married in 3 days," she said, "my father will destroy someone I love." And just like that, my quiet little life exploded. Rain hammered against the apartment windows while Lily sat on my couch twisting her fingers together so tightly her knuckles turned white. I handed her tea. She didn't touch it. "My father made a deal," she finally said. I leaned against the kitchen counter, watching her carefully. "What kind of deal?" She swallowed hard. "You know my dad owns Carter Development, right?" Everybody in Chicago knew that. Richard Carter was one of those ruthless real estate kings who smiled in magazines while destroying entire neighborhoods behind closed doors. And he promised his business partner I'd marry his son. I stared at her. "You're kidding." "I wish I was." She laughed bitterly, wiping a tear before it could fall. "The wedding announcement goes public Friday night at his charity gala. And you don't want to marry the guy?" Her expression darkened instantly. "Noah Whitmore is violent." The room went silent. She looked down at her hands. "He hit a waiter 2 weeks ago because his steak was cold." I felt anger rise in my chest. "So don't marry him." "It's not that simple." Then she looked at me again. And I saw genuine fear. "My dad invested millions into Noah's family company. If I back out now, Noah threatens to expose some illegal financial thing between them." "And your dad blames you?" "He blames Daniel." The name came out softly. Too softly. My eyes narrowed. "Who's Daniel?" A tiny smile appeared despite her panic. "My boyfriend." There it was. Of course there was a boyfriend. "He's a music teacher," she said quietly. "My dad says if I ruin the deal, Daniel loses everything." I exhaled slowly. "So where do I come in?" Lily looked embarrassed now. "My dad said if I absolutely refuse Noah, then I better find a respectable husband before Friday." I blinked. "And you chose me? You're kind." 3 simple words. No woman had called me that in years. "You helped Mrs. Green carry groceries every week after her surgery," she continued. "You fixed my car battery in the snow last winter. You never stare at me like other men do." Her voice softened. "You feel safe." And somehow, that scared me more than anything. This is a terrible idea. I must have said it 10 times. But Lily kept sitting there, looking at me with those impossible eyes. "I know," she whispered. "So why me?" "Because my father respects you." I almost laughed. "Your father barely knows I exist. He notices people who don't want anything from him." That hit harder than expected. I rubbed my face, exhausted already. "Lily, fake marriages only happen in movies. This doesn't have to be real." Those words should have relieved me. Instead, they stung. She leaned forward desperately. "I just need someone believable for one night. After the gala, I'll figure everything out." And what happens when your father investigates me? He already did. I froze. What? He knows you're former military. He knows you own your apartment. He knows you don't drink much, don't gamble, and haven't dated anyone seriously in 4 years. That's creepy. He's Richard Carter. Fair point. I paced the room. Every instinct screamed to stay out of this. Rich families like hers destroyed normal people for sport. But Lily looked genuinely trapped. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I answered cautiously. Hello? A calm male voice responded. Stay away from Lily Carter. My blood went cold. Who is this? She belongs to Noah Whitmore. The line disconnected. Lily saw my expression immediately. What happened? I looked at her carefully. You didn't tell me Noah was already threatening people. Her face drained of color. Oh my God. She stood suddenly, panicking. I shouldn't have come here. She grabbed her purse, but I caught her wrist gently. Lily. Her breathing shook. I don't want you getting hurt because of me. Too late. Because the moment that call came through, I realized this wasn't some awkward fake marriage drama anymore. This was war between powerful people. And somehow, I was standing directly in the middle of it. The next morning, a black SUV sat outside my apartment building. Watching. I noticed it while leaving for work. 2 men inside. Suits. No smiles. One of them lifted a phone to his ear the second I looked over. Perfect. By noon, my boss called me into his office. There's been a complaint, he said awkwardly. About what? Violence. I stared at him. I work in construction management. I know. But apparently someone reported you for threatening behavior. Of course they did. By the time I got home, Lily was waiting outside my apartment. She looked terrified. My father knows. How? Noah told him. I unlocked my door quickly and pulled her inside. What exactly does your father know? That I came to you. And? She hesitated. Then whispered. He wants to meet you tonight. I laughed once. Not because it was funny. Because it felt inevitable. 2 hours later, I stood inside Richard Carter's penthouse overlooking downtown Chicago. The man himself poured whiskey without offering me any. Tall. Silver hair. Eyes colder than winter sidewalks. So, he said calmly, you're the soldier. Former soldier. He nodded slowly. My daughter believes you can protect her. Lily stood silently near the windows, unable to look at me. Richard sipped his drink. Tell me something honestly. I crossed my arms. What? Are you in love with her? The question hit the room like thunder. Lily looked up instantly. And somehow, I couldn't answer. Because the terrifying part was, after only 24 hours, I already cared more about her than I should. Richard noticed my silence immediately. A dangerous smile appeared. That, he said quietly, is exactly what worries me. After the meeting, Lily and I walked through downtown in complete silence. Cold wind whipped between buildings while traffic lights reflected across wet streets. Finally, she stopped walking. I'm sorry. For what? For dragging you into this. I shoved my hands into my jacket pockets. You didn't force me. No, she whispered sadly. But you're too good to say no. That sentence stayed with me. We ended up at a tiny diner near the river. One of those old-school places with cracked leather booths and tired waitresses calling everyone honey. For the first time since this nightmare started, Lily relaxed. A little. She smiled while stealing fries off my plate. You always this serious? She teased softly. Pretty much. That's tragic. I laughed before I could stop myself. And suddenly she stared at me. Like hearing me laugh mattered. A lot. Then her smile faded. You know what's messed up? What? My whole life, men wanted me because of my father's money, or because they thought I looked pretty standing beside them. She looked down. You're the first man who looks at me like I'm an actual person. The honesty in her voice crushed me. Lily. No, seriously. Her eyes watered slightly. Do you know how lonely that feels? Something inside me shifted right there. Not lust. Not obligation. Something deeper. Protective. Dangerous. Then her phone buzzed. She looked at the screen. And went pale. What is it? She turned the phone toward me. It was a photo. Daniel. Her boyfriend. bleeding outside his apartment. Below the picture was one message. Friday. No mistakes. And in that moment, everything became real. Lily cried the entire ride back. Not loud. The kind of crying that breaks your heart because someone's trying desperately to stay quiet. I should just marry Noah, she whispered. No. You saw the photo. He wants fear. Don't give it to him. She looked at me helplessly. You don't understand rich people like him. I glanced over while driving. No, Lily. You don't understand people like me. Her expression shifted slightly. Former military changes people. You learn how predators think. And Noah Whitmore? He was a predator. By Thursday morning, I had a plan. Not a perfect one. But enough. I spent hours making calls to old contacts. One favor led to another until finally someone uncovered what Noah had been hiding for years. Assault settlements. Threats. Bribery. Enough dirt to destroy him publicly. But there was a catch. The evidence came from Richard Carter's private accounts. Meaning Lily's father was involved too. That night, I went to Carter's penthouse alone. Richard listened silently while I laid the folder on his desk. You protected Noah, I said. His jaw tightened. It was business. No. It was cowardice. For the first time, real anger flashed across his face. You think you understand this world? No, I answered honestly. But I understand daughters shouldn't look terrified around their fathers. The room fell silent. Then Richard said something unexpected. I loved her mother more than my own life. His voice cracked slightly. When she died, I became the kind of man she would have hated. I didn't move. Richard stared out the window. If I destroy Noah publicly tomorrow, they'll come after my company. And if you don't, I replied quietly, you lose your daughter forever. For the first time since meeting him, Richard Carter looked afraid. Friday night arrived like a storm. The Carter Charity Gala glittered with diamonds, cameras, and billion-dollar smiles hiding poisonous secrets. Lily descended the staircase wearing a silver dress that stole the oxygen from the room. But her eyes found only me. And suddenly, everything else disappeared. I walked toward her slowly. You okay? I whispered. No, she forced a nervous smile. You? Also no. That made her laugh softly. Then the ballroom doors opened. Noah Whitmore entered. Tall. Expensive suit. Empty eyes. He walked directly toward Lily. Baby, he said coldly, you look beautiful. I stepped between them instantly. Noah's smile vanished. So this is the fake fiancé? Careful, I said calmly. He leaned closer. You really think she'd choose a nobody construction manager over me? Before I could answer, Lily grabbed my hand. Hard. Then she said clearly enough for nearby guests to hear. Yes. The ballroom went silent. Noah stared at her in disbelief. You're making a mistake. No, Lily whispered bravely. For once in my life, I'm finally fixing one. Noah's face twisted with rage. Then Richard Carter stepped onto the stage. Microphone in hand. The entire room turned toward him. He looked at Lily. Then at Noah. And finally said, Tonight, I will not announce a business merger. Murmurs spread instantly. Richard inhaled slowly. Tonight, I apologize to my daughter. Chaos erupted. Noah exploded. You stupid old man. Security rushed forward as Noah lunged toward the stage. But before they grabbed him, he pointed directly at me. This isn't over. And for one terrifying second, I believed him. The gala collapsed into screaming reporters and flashing cameras. But somehow Lily and I escaped onto the rooftop terrace above the ballroom. Snow drifted lightly through the Chicago night. Below us, the city glowed golden white. And Lily stood there shaking. It's over, I whispered. No, she said softly. Now it's real. I looked at her carefully. What do you mean? Tears filled her eyes again. Daniel broke up with me yesterday. I froze. He said he was tired of fighting for someone who kept choosing fear. The pain in her voice was unbearable. I'm sorry. She nodded weakly. I think part of me already knew. Wind swept across the rooftop. Then she looked at me with heartbreaking honesty. But somewhere along the way, my chest tightened. I stopped pretending with you. Neither of us moved. The entire world felt suspended in that moment. I tried not to fall for you, she whispered. God. The way she said it. Like love was the last thing she wanted. I stepped closer slowly. "Lily, you make me feel safe," she said again, crying openly now. "Not trapped. Not owned. Safe." I touched her face gently. And every wall I'd built over the years finally cracked. "I would burn this entire city down before letting someone hurt you." Her lips trembled. Then she kissed me. Soft at first. Then emotional. Desperate. Real. And under the falling snow above Chicago? Our fake relationship finally became the truth. 6 months later, I opened my apartment door again. 3 soft knocks. Just like the first night. Only this time, Lily stood there smiling. No fear. No tears. Just sunlight in her eyes. "You forgot your lunch again," she teased, holding up a paper bag. I laughed. "You walked upstairs just for that?" "Well," she said casually, "your wife does live downstairs now." Wife. Still felt unreal sometimes. After the gala, Noah Whitmore disappeared under federal investigation. Richard Carter publicly stepped away from several business deals and spent months repairing his relationship with Lily. Shockingly, he actually changed. Not perfectly, but genuinely. And somehow, against every odd imaginable, he eventually accepted me too. Lily stepped inside the apartment and wrapped her arms around my waist. "You nervous?" she asked. "A little." "Me too." Tonight was important. Because tonight, we were telling Richard Carter he was going to be a grandfather. Lily placed my hand gently against her stomach. And suddenly the world went quiet. "You know what's crazy?" she whispered. "What?" "If my life hadn't completely fallen apart that night." She smiled softly. "I never would have knocked on your door." I kissed her forehead carefully. Outside, snow began falling again across Chicago. Just like the night everything changed. And sometimes, the most beautiful love stories begin with complete disaster. Or with 3 soft knocks at 11:47 p.m. And a terrified girl whispering, "I need a husband by Friday."